thought, oh, we can go further with this. We can go deeper with this. And this was the Big Pink and the band record. This was the first of people making their atmosphere the recording place. Because we would go to a recording studio and there'd be like this huge clock on the wall, and a guy sitting there saying, you know, we're in the union, you know. And all of these things, we thought, that's got nothing to do with the purpose of what we're really here for. And we need to stir things and let them gel and make discoveries. And we can't do that while you're watching and worrying about your break. This is not our atmosphere. This is somebody else's. So I said, let's just, you know, like do a more advanced version of what we could do in the basement. Let's get a play, and we rented Sammy Davis Jr.'s house up here in the hills, and had a pool house, and then I just had equipment brought in there, and we recorded that record in there, and it had a character of its own, just because it was in that place. I mean, it doesn't sound like Sammy Davis Jr.,
it's so weird,
but it's got something.
To go from Woodstock all the way out here, that was a cultural change. It had to be.
Well, it had nothing to do with the culture. It had to do with, in Woodstock, there was snow.
That's right.
And every day it was like, I can't get there, and the tractor hasn't come. What? You know, we got to get out of here. So where can we go where we're not going to have these things hold, you know, away?
Right. As the band, of course, becomes not just favorites of the critics, but you become a major band, a superstar kind of band. And I remember, for instance, seeing you at Watkins Glen, you know, one of those giant 600,000 people show. Quickly, in 2 albums worth, you had gone from being this band in a basement, making this great music, to, you know, filling stadiums and whatnot. Eventually, I would presume that pressure has to get to you, and what the demands of being stars in this kind of rock world means. I mean, did it start to get to the point where it got to be a burden, and did you perhaps think maybe this wasn't the right thing for us to do?
There was no choice in the right thing to do. We stayed out of the way for a long time. We did music in Big Pink. We didn't go out to play after that.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the guys in the band was in a traffic accident. Rick broke his neck in a thing. So people just thought, ooh, they're just up there being mysterious in those mountains. And it was actually, you know, we were waiting for Rick to be okay again. I mean, he was in traffic for months there. Boy. It was, you know. So, and I remember Bill Graham, you know, Albert Grossman said, listen, Bill Graham wants to come up here, and, you know, and he wants to talk to you about, you know, going out and playing for people. And I said, well, you know, we would if we could. We're waiting for that. He says, I know, but he doesn't know that. So he thinks he's coming up here, you know, to really turn things around. He said, just go along with it. Make him feel good. And he said, you know, he's a good guy, but he's also, you know, full of shit, too. You'll see what I mean. So anyway, so Bill comes up there, and it's just Albert and me, and Bill's where Albert's place was sitting outside, he's there, and he's like all flustered and nervous, and he's huffing and puffing and saying, yeah, I'm telling you, I'm bringing you a message from the people. And he's convincing me of something that we're already convinced of, you know, but we haven't told him. He's preaching, and he's saying, he's standing up, he's saying, I'm telling you, you got to get up in the world, you got to let the people enjoy the things that, they're the ones that love you, and you can't let them down, and everything's at stake here. I mean, he's just making it like a big drama thing, and it's kind of wonderful, his act and his thing. I don't know if anybody ever did it better. So he does the whole spiel, everything, and I said, but what's really behind all this, Bill? What is the thing that is behind all this, and it should make us right now go pack our suitcases and do this? And he says, comes over and he grabs my collar and he says, it's the people. It's the people. And he's been saying the people all through this whole thing. The people. The people. And I'm like, what people? He said, we just live up here in the woods. We don't know anything. What in the world connections do we have with them? And so he goes through the whole thing again. And I said, oh, those people. I said, okay, let's do it. And he said, like that? I said, yeah. And he said, great. Great, and he's hugging Albert, and he's like, he said, you know, this thing, but anyway, he didn't know that,
About Rick.
he didn't know about Rick, and he didn't know that we were just having a little bit of fun
Yeah,
at the same
yeah,
time.
yeah.
I told him years later,
Yeah.
actually. But anyway, so we didn't go out, and everybody thought, what are they building up there? You know, it was one of those kind of things up there. And then they decided we're going to have this big music festival. The biggest music festival in the world, and we're going to call it Woodstock because we're up there and they think there's something going on. I'm telling you, we got to get some of that, and because of that, we can get everybody. It's like a magnet, you know. So anyway, these guys, they got together and then the place that they wanted to get really near Woodstock, they couldn't get, and it wasn't, and so they got this other place. And then they did the Woodstock Festival. And then the people of Woodstock, then, because we were the only ones from Woodstock, Bob, his wife was having a baby at that time, and I don't even know if he would have wanted to play it anyway, but I know that he couldn't then. And so we were the only people from Woodstock playing on the festival. We go and we do the festival, and we come back to Woodstock, and there's an attitude in the town. You know, they're like, they're the guys that caused it. They're the guys that got everybody to come up here. This was a charming little art community, and now there's Volkswagen buses. Well, like this is nothing but trouble. And so I remember one day specifically going to the bakery, and this was one we've been going there for years, and this little old German woman in the bakery, she was great with what she did. And I went there, and there was a couple of other people there when I went in, and then a couple of people came in after me. And so she was taking their orders. And then when it was my turn, she went to the other people and said, can I help you with it? And I thought, I'm feeling something here. And then the other person on top of that, and I thought, well, you know, and I might remember it. And then someone else said, listen, I went to the hardware store today, and they wouldn't sell me they had pliers. I just wanted some pliers for my house. And they wouldn't even sell them to me. We've really offended everybody here. And so I thought, I don't mean to go on for so long, but anyway, it was just a funny thing of that. So I thought, oh my God, they think it's our fault. They think that we caused, because it went from being this place that nobody knew about, nobody
Sleepy little art colony.
Sleepy for sure, but like there was nobody, Henny Youngman lived up. You know, and everybody else was art, and Lee Marvin. That was it. And then everybody else, they were artist people, right? And so they really thought that we, you know, it turned into the most famous small town in the world.
That's right.
And they were holding it against us. So I said, I got an idea. And we had a meeting with the town council, right, together, and I said, we've got an idea. At the Woodstock Playhouse, this beautiful old wooden theater up there, where they would do summer stock for years and years. said, we would like to do our next album live for you at the Woodstock Playhouse, just for the people of Woodstock. How about that? And they said, oh, we hate this idea. And they said, because we'll never get in. It'll be all people, kids from the city and from Jersey and, you know, from all around, and we'll be outside saying, we hate this idea. And we made that next record called Stage Fright at the Woodstock Playhouse on the stage for nobody.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just-
Well, but it